Trish, for that nice introduction, and thank all of you for coming to this. Is exciting. I have a role here to introduce a scholar and author of this great book, Free for All, and but I also want to mention in the introduction sort of the politics of it all, because what we're talking about are meals, school. It's not just school lunch; that's the big category, but it's essentially public feeding programs. And we have come through the era when I grew up. Tricia said I grew up when there was no such word as fast food. There wasn't any. Fastest food for me was going home and grabbing a bottle of milk that had been delivered to our house and had a whole bunch of cream on the top and drinking that as my meal. And I was always, I played football and stuff, and I was always hungry for that. You know, those days, just how much it's all changed. But I'm here as an elected official and as a politician, and I want to just introducing Jan to talk about a little bit of the politics of it. I'm the only Westerner in the United States Congress that sits on the Agricultural Appropriations Committee. And most of the food that we eat, fresh fruit and vegetables, comes from the West. The Department of Agriculture has a $100 billion budget, and our job is to review all the programs that the Department of Agriculture and all the food safety programs in the FDA, Food Drug Administration, which is a separate agency. Of that $100 billion, 65% goes to nutrition. Now, we think of the Department of Agriculture as all this, you know, you sort of think about harvesting, but it's about feeding. And it's interesting, the membership of that committee, about half of them are social activists that come from urban areas, sitting on that committee. And you go, what do they have to do with agriculture? They're there because it's a social program. The Department of Agriculture is the biggest poverty prevention program in the United States. And we're there to make sure that those things work. The problem is that throughout history, whenever you spend any money, you devise a program for it, and then you want it to be accountable. And what we have devised over time is all these categories of feeding. Breakfast programs, snack programs, lunch programs, after-school programs, dinner programs, all of them designed separately. All of them requiring that you prove that you can get in. I was thinking coming up here, and that it's easier to get in the Marine Corps than it is to get a free lunch. That's all wrong. And the cost of administrating these programs is taking away from the ability to buy foods and prepare foods and get them served. And what's happened also in our schools is, as Chris pointed out, I grew up in Sunset Elementary School in Carmel. Those were fresh cooked meals every day as I went through the cafeteria line. Cafeterias are gone. The kitchen's gone. Schools now contract out to central locations to prepare the meals. And guess what? Schools get all the surplus from our commodity program. If you don't learn anything else today, learn what a commodity program. Commodities are 5 things. You can put it on your hand. It's wheat, corn, beans, rice, and cotton. We don't eat cotton. But just think of all the things you can make out of rice, bean, corn, wheat. You can make a lot of commodities, but where do we send those things? We send them in bags, big bags. Well, when school gets a bag, I can't do this. You know, you give me a sack of flour, so I'm going to send it out and to a processor. And by the way, while you're processing, we want you to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because you've got this excess peanut butter from the peanut commodity community subsidy program. It's a different program. Right? So therein you begin seeing what processors do, and in making these things they add sugar, they add salt, and so the foods are coming back to schools, and they're easy to serve if you do it in what the fast food industry has been able to accomplish. And I think, unfortunately, the buyers in this program have been traditional buyers who bought for the military, who always bought in bulk. And so you have everything that comes in bulk. And somewhere along the line, they forgot that you can actually ship lettuce, carrots, strawberries, these things that we grow around here, in bulk also. So there is a revolution going on. It's a revolution from the bottoms up, which are school boards, and what the revolution is starting to be because of people like you in the room, and particularly the parents that are here in the room. For years you've been asking your school board members who you elect, tell us what you're teaching our kid in the classroom. For the first time you're beginning to say, and tell us what you're feeding them in the lunchroom. And when the politics of school boards is as interested in the lunchroom as it is in the classroom, indeed the revolution will be on. And it's being done, bottoms up, school district by school district. You've seen what LA Unified, the biggest school district in the United States, kicked the Coke machines out. It was controversial. Those Coke machines bring money to school. School uses those monies for band uniforms and other kinds of programs. If you don't give us the money, those programs won't be there for the kids. And the school board said, we don't want those machines in our schools anymore. We don't want that junk food sold. Now they're putting milk, juices, and other things in those vending machines. So they are getting another return, but it's now serving healthy things. So this is the revolution. The bureaucracy level, federal level, the reauthorizing of the school lunch program is to rewrite the whole thing. So to essentially get more money at the ground level that can be spread out to do more things. We kind of entitle people to food. And then we follow everything that this book is all about. So I want you to take this book and read it.